Hi guys, I'm back with another video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Donna at Face Paints For You. Today, I'm here to show you how I do this new Spider-Man cheek/arm design. So if you're interested to see how I do this face paint, please keep watching. Okay, so I start off by grabbing my 5/8 short angle brush. If you don't have that one, that's absolutely fine. You could always use a 3/4 inch angle brush instead. And I load it with a one stroke called Mexico from Global. And to do Spider-Man's head, I twirl my brush round to make a circle. Then I start to do a bit like a upside down heart shape. And that will be the shoulders. And then I fill in any areas that need filling in. Now, next to the heart shape, about halfway up, I start to do two upside down U shapes. Then here I flip my brush round and do a small bump. It's a bit like a small upside down U shape again. Then with my 1/2 inch angle brush that is loaded with a split kit from Fusion called Frozen Queen, and just with the light and dark blue, I did two small upside down U shapes again on both sides. And now here, with a round brush number 4 loaded with white diamond effects, I start to do the shape of Spider-Man's eyes. Now if you watch carefully, you can see exactly how I do them. If not, you could always go online and have a look at an image of Spider-Man to see how you want to do his eyes. And then as you can see, I just fill them in. Now, for all you beginners out there, just a really quick tip. I know a lot of you will struggle to put white on top of a bright red, so the best way to do this is either wait for the white to dry and then go over it again, or make sure that the white is really thick in consistency, so at least it won't reactivate the colour underneath and your white will be nice and bright. Now let's get back to the design. As you can see with that same brush, I started to pull some little lines coming out from that little bump that we did right at the top. Then on the shoulder, I start to do a big spider web by doing some really big teardrops coming down and connecting to those little lines. And as you can see, when I do those lines in between those teardrops, I always do from thick to thin, as it gives your spider web a bit of dimension. Now, this design is very new, I've only just come up with it not too long ago, so I thought it'd be fantastic to share it with you guys, especially as Spider-Man designs are very popular. But to be honest, when I have a look around and have a look at different Spider-Man designs out there, most of them are all the same, and we really need a design, especially like this one, that looks as if it's really intricate and that it took us a really long time, but it actually doesn't. It's actually a very fast and easy design to do on the job. Now, getting back to the design, I'm sure you noticed I started to do a few highlights. Now, I'd like you to ignore that part, as they can get covered up whilst we're outlining the design, so it's just best to do it at the end. Now, as you can see, I grabbed my number 1 round brush and loaded it with black diamond effects, and I started to outline the eyes, round the head. Then I go down where the boots are. Now I outline around that upside down U shape and then divide it in half with just a small line. Then I start to outline the outside of the boots and the top of his trousers where the knees are. And of course, I'm doing this on both sides, plus remembering to round off the knees because they were a little bit square. And then I also outline his shoulders. Now, this is the part where it gets a little bit more difficult. And as you can see, I've zoomed you in so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Now, all it is 2 hands together that are going to be holding the spider web. Now, I do believe that this part in the middle that I'm doing now is quite important, as this is what's going to bring the design together. I know I said that this is one of the most difficult parts of this design, but if you look at it properly, it's actually not that difficult. The only reason why I said that is because the detail is quite small, so that's the only reason why it's going to make it a little bit more difficult, especially for a beginner. Okay, so as soon as I've done the hands, I start to do the arms. And then on the chest of Spider-Man, I start to do a tiny little spider. Now, you don't have to do the spider, but I do think it makes it look more like Spider-Man, but it's completely up to you. And plus, it doesn't need to be perfect. Just a tiny little spider will be absolutely fine. Then to do the spider web design that he has on his suit, the best way I found to do this is on the bottom where his boots are on both sides, I just do some curved lines, a bit like wide U-shapes. And then I just put a straight line going through the middle on both sides. And then for the middle of the body, I do them the opposite way. As you can see, starting from the wrists and going all the way up to the shoulders. And here again, I do the same thing. I put a straight line through the middle, just like we did on the boots. But as it's a lot wider at the top, I do add another 2 straight lines. Then here, as you can see, I do a straight line just under the spider, and that's the top of the trousers. And this is why with the small round brush, I just get a bit of the light blue that we used before from that split cake, and I just quickly fill it in. Then I go back to my brush again that has my black diamond effects on it, and I start to do the spider web design on the mask. And as you can see, I do a straight line through the middle, and starting from the middle of the mask, in between the eyes, let's say, I start to do these curved lines going all the way around. Again, on one half of the face going one way, and the other half going the opposite way. And here, as you can see, I do some even more curved lines that go across the other lines, and then again at the opposite side I do them the opposite way. Now here, as you can see, I actually do go back to the top of the trousers and give him a bit of a belt, but it's completely optional. And then here, as you can see, I do go back to my brush with white diamond effects, and I do start to give Spider-Man a few highlights here and there. And just like I normally do, just go over my highlights with my finger slightly, just so the lines are not as harsh and they look a bit more like an actual highlight. Now, Spider-Man is actually done now, so you're more than welcome to always leave it as it is, or do your own background, or just put some glitter around it. So of course, this is completely optional. So if you'd like to do it the same as me, you're more than welcome to do that. And of course, as I always say to you, if you do recreate this design with like a different background, or you make it your own, please tag me in it or send them over to me. I would absolutely love to see your work. Of course, if you'd like to do it like mine, I did it a bit like a graffiti wall / brick effect. So as you can see, I grabbed my wall / brick effect stencil and spritzed down my petal sponge, but any sponge will be absolutely fine. And with a split cake that I made myself, it has a bit of red, orange, gold, cream and white if I'm not mistaken. Mixed them very slightly together just so it'd be blended, and as you can see, I did a bit of a wall effect all around the design. Then with my dotted stencil, I also added a few black cluster of dots around the design, and then I also did a few cluster of white dots too. And for that, I used the black diamond effects and white diamond effects. And as you can tell, I was just having so much fun that I just couldn't stop. Then here, as you can see, for the finishing touches, I just added some glitter and sparkle with this beautiful gold iridescent chunky glitter around the design. And that's it, guys. This is the finished Spider-Man design. And really quickly, just wanted to say a massive thank you to all my beautiful subscribers. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified of all future videos and giveaways. And you know what? Speaking of giveaways, if you've made it this far in the video, comment below with your favourite emoji and I will pick one person for a small surprise.